Welcome to Snowball Madness A to Z. There are 142 different kinds of snowballs you can throw, and we are in a very special episode today. We are on letter J. What, you may ask, is the magic of letter J? I'll tell you. Jack-o'-lantern. That's all. Just jack-o'-lantern. Now you may ask, what use is this? After all, if you just plain have a jack-o'-lantern and you fire it, looks like you apparently get a guy. This is what you get with the jack-o'-lantern. That came as a bit of a surprise. I'm not sure whether that's going to work for... Let's do a quick test. Now we are in game mode 0. I have not powered the jack-o'-lantern at all. And it is still attacking me. Okay, so jack-o'-lantern is apparently available to all. The original intention was you had to power it up. I'm not quite sure why that changed. But the jack-o'-lantern lets you give minions. Now, you may notice something about this fellow here. He's holding a bone. And there's a reason for that. We could have him be holding a cactus. And he's trying to beat me up with the cactus. That's very rude. That's so rude, I'm not going to have any more of that, sir. But notice what he did. That fellow will have dropped the cactus. Or possibly you have to power them up to get that. Don't mind me, just swimming to a stable place. Gonna need to kill that fellow. So what you've got is... Oh, he dropped his head. That's not really my head. But what we've got here is a situation in which you can create minions. All you have to do is fire a jack-o'-lantern. If you put glowstone dust or something like that... In fact, hang on a second. I'm going to need a little bit of help. This is more effective if well, come to think of it, so you can make minions, and they are holding what is in your slot 1. For instance, in this case, well, they should be holding a clock, but I suppose it doesn't count as such. Let's see if we can make them be holding a bottle. Not so much. Okay, let's try a grass block. Okay, not so sure about that, so let's try bones and observe what I've done with the grass block. I've put the grass block in a slot above that first slot. See what happens next. Ah, okay, I remember what this is. Don't mind me, we're figuring out the details of how the magic works. You can create regular old skellies using a unpowered jack-o'-lantern. But if we power this skelly, we should get a guy is attacking me with a grass block. Also notice he dropped his head and he dropped the grass block. Now I have 2 grass blocks. Now since I have one in the first slot and one above the first slot, he's a grass block-headed guy, and you'll note that since I gave him a head, he's named Applejinx's minion. But we don't have to have him be called Applejinx's minion. See how I've got a cactus called Bobo Cactus Head. Might not want to have it be called Applejinx's minion for reasons that will become apparent soon. So what we're going to do is give the cactus head fellow, he's still using grass block as a weapon, unless, and I'm powering up, which lets me do these crazy things. Now he's using the glass bottle as a weapon. And as you can see, that one was named Bobo Cactus Head. And now I've got an extra bottle. But suppose I wanted to have him carrying another star. I think you can see where this is heading. Let's try that again. And so he's dropped. Let me see, I've got 2 on me. And there's a third. And how many are those? Is that 1 or is that 2? He dropped 2 nether stars for some reason. So now I've got 5 nether stars. And he's very cross with me, and that looks like a stack of nether stars. Imagine that. 5 nether stars. 10 nether stars. This is the ultimate way to build up massive quantities of anything that you like. Anything that can be dropped will work. Oh, but one more thing. As you can see, I'm not wearing any armor. That should keep me safe, right? That's going to be just what I need. Or not. Now I am armed with a very powerful weaponry. Also note that he dropped all of the armor, so this is also a way to get lots of armor. Bear in mind also that his strength was reinforced by the amount of powering I gave the jack-o'-lantern. I used glowstone dust. I can also use nether stars. And produce a real tank of a fellow. Who will take about forever to kill. Because he has all the hit points ever. Now bear in mind, this will go away. Oh. Need to put the clock there. Now, this fellow is a very, very nasty challenge to us. But happily, he will despawn. If you go far enough away from him, even though we can't really very well hurt him with attacking him because he's just too high power. If you go away far enough, he will despawn. However, there are other things that we can do as well. Now remember, in order to have the crazy skellies, you must power them at least a little bit. But we have not seen what happens when you speed up the skelly being made with a jack-o'-lantern. You have to power them in order to make anything happen other than just a generic skeleton. But we've not seen what the speed modifier does. Regen potion might be a good idea right about now. Skelly, Mr. Skelly, hello. He might have despawned, he might not have. The speed potion will allow you to fire your skelly making thing far away. Like so. That's pretty far away. Now that will have created a skelly off in the distance, or you could also fire one right over there, and that gives us a skelly. We can even produce more. The beacon is the highest speed speedy up thing. Oh, notice also that he's carrying a bow. You can put a weapon into this first slot, and that will cause him to have whatever that weapon is. I think even enchants will be supported. Meanwhile, our skellies have been fired using the beacons, and that increases their speed. And as such, this poses what might be a little bit of a challenge in that we can produce a situation where you've got your minions and they are a little bit dangerous. This guy is speeded up and has whoa. Okay, yeah. Running away now. The speeded up skellies are bad news. Up. Got him into the water. Goodbye, Mr. Skell. Whew. So, yeah. I think some of those guys despawned. I made several of them, but they didn't all stick around. I also made the super high power guy over here, and he didn't stick around either. But basically, the situation you have here I'm shutting off the rain by sleeping in a bed since I can control the speed. The deal with the minions is that you can produce minions with whatever name you like. You can use them to grind extra weapons. You can use them to grind extra things. You can put a full stack of something in either that first weapon slot, which they'll end up using as a weapon, or the head block slot, and it will drop whatever the stack is, and it will show the name of whatever the stack is. And you can make very unpleasant little customers simply by powering them up, which increases their hit points, and then speeding them up, which increases how fast they can move. And the beacon is the fastest one. As you saw, that was really unmanageable. Producing a very, very bad situation. So if you see this, run away. Because you can try to hunt them from a distance, but as soon as one gets close enough to you, all they got to do is find their way pathfind to you. And of course, if you throw a bunch of these at some hapless user, they're going to be in very serious trouble because they'll just attack any player that's near them. They run quick like a bunny. And are basically just the very bad news. These guys would be sniping me to death if they they might be able to jump over. That one wasn't. Remember, if you've increased their speed, they also have jump boost, and that means they may be able to jump out of this situation. He's certainly doing his level best. See, this guy's problem is that he needs to bring that sword to bear. If I can kill him, he'll drop the sword. This could be a mistake. I think this does count as a mistake. And that's probably going to be all she wrote. And I think I'm pretty bleed. Yep. Bobo Cactus Head has had his revenge. We'll just leave the rest of those guys there for you folks to discover upon logging onto the server. Ta-ta.